Warning. This video contains adult humor, graphic dialogue, and certain material which some may find offensive. This video is a form of art intended for entertainment purposes only and not for children or easily offended viewers. The jokes and verbiage used in this performance do not represent the views or beliefs of the actor portraying them. Your discretion is highly advised.
Oh. Hello. I didn't see you there. Some of you may be wondering why Jony has whipped cream on his tits.
I, like many Americans, was put out of work due to, COVID.
So now I do what any respectable person in my position would do.
Sell myself on the internet for money.
And listen, it's acceptable that I do that because I'm unemployed.
And sexy.
Now you youngsters might be asking, Jony, why'd you just take your pants off?
One of these depraved sycophants thought they might be able to get me to do something a little bit special if they threw some cold hard cash my way.
They want me to shoot the whipped cream on my taint and then scoop it out and eat it like it's a goddamn snowball. Now I, being of sound mind and body,
had only one thing to say.
Show me the money, baby. It's not so bad. That's a pew. Alright, fuck it, let's talk about movies. Malignant. It is the new psychological slasher from James Wan and stars Annabelle Wallis as a young woman that is terrorized by an unseen killer. As she seeks out the truth to the murderer's identity, the bodies begin to pile up and the secrets from her past come back to haunt blah blah blah.
You've seen it all before.
And before we dive into the good stuff and the shit, I want to talk about the inspirations for this film. Aren't you twat skunks familiar with giallo? Giallo is a term used to refer to a brand of Italian horror thriller cinema. When filming started for Malignant, James Wan stated that it would be part of the giallo subgenre. The typical giallo will feature a black-gloved killer whose identity is unknown until the final act of the film. Now, these films are hyper-stylized and often jarringly violent, and deal with psychological torment, typically when the protagonist witnesses a killing and then their testimony is brought under scrutiny by the authorities. Now that I've covered the movie's origins,
Very briefly, just like a little, let's get to the good stuff.
I'm gonna do a deep dive with all this bullshit. So this is your motherfucking spoiler warning, you goddamn peen dicks. I don't know where to begin. The camera work in this movie is fucking rad, man. That like vertical shot where it's like looking down and she's moving through the house.
Not only is it fucking gorgeous,
But it is like a total homage to Tenebrae. Did anybody else get that?
Tenebrae,
I'm so fucking American, I'm sorry.
direction.
I had a buddy of mine tell me after he watched this film that he felt that James Wan had fallen very far from the man he was when he directed The Conjuring and Insidious.
But I would beg to fucking differ. Every bit of direction has intent.
That includes when the soundtrack is jarring, or when the performances are over the top, or when the whole goddamn premise of the fucking movie is ridiculous. All of these things are staples for Italian cinema.
And that's coming from somebody who doesn't even watch fucking Italian cinema!
To be able to stick to your guns, knowing that a lot of people might not like what you do, takes fucking stones, man. And I think James Wan just knocked it out of the park with this one. The killer and the twist. James Wan could literally take a shit, wipe his own ass, does other people wipe it for him? And the shit ticket would make a more compelling villain than all that other garbage that those motherfuckers have been trying to shovel out to us over the past fucking decade. Jigsaw, the lipstick demon, Annabelle, the nun, even Mary fucking Shaw was pretty goddamn badass. And then there's Gabriel. Not only does he follow your standard formula for a giallo killer, black leather gloves, has a close secret connection with the protagonist.
More on that in 2 seconds.
And while we don't get a traditional killer POV, Madison's visions put us in the same space with Gabriel as he does the killings.
But I digress.
He has the distinct trait of any horror movie villain in cinema of being backwards. And no, that bullshit with Voldemort in the first Harry Potter doesn't count, you motherfucks. Because I certainly don't remember Professor Sucks My Cock a Lot running around fucking Hogwarts backwards, stabbing motherfucking Hufflepuffs left and right.
But as I was saying before I rudely interrupted me,
I cannot stress this enough. Spoiler fucking warning, you big bag of sloppy, wet, hairy dicks. Gabriel moves backwards because he's a parasitic twin that is connected to the back of Madison's head and has been taking over her consciousness to go on killing rampages of her family and the doctors that tried to suppress him. Holy fucking shit! That twist is so balls to the wall that when M. Night Shyamalan found out that Warner Brothers was actually going to let James Wan go through with it, he called him up and said, hey, first let me fuck things up with Universal and then I'm going to come work for you. And now it's time to talk about the color palette. Save for the one scene that was featured heavily in the promotional material. Yeah, that one. Pretty much the whole film was borderline black and white for me. Now, I've watched the film twice, and I still, for the life of me, can't figure out why Gabriel affects electricity the way he does. Or why the son of a bitch can somehow fight like a goddamn ninja, even though he's been in a fucking coma for like 30 years, and essentially can't move his limbs properly.
one fucking line of Dr. Mumbo Jumbo could have explained all that shit away.
I had a few last minute ponderings. A couple of gifts for you guys. A couple of little... Both times I watched the film, I couldn't get over how much the police station climax reminded me of the one in The Terminator. The hospital in Malignant is the same hospital from the 1999 House on Haunted Hill, right? Best use of Where Is My Mind in a film. Fight Club can suck my dick. Now, I hate to be that pretentious douchebag dickweed, but if you don't like this film, it's because you don't get this film. Now, it may have flopped at the box office, but box office flops have a tendency to turn into cult classics. Or just classics. So I say watch the damn thing. If you love it, you can ride my dick later. And if you hate it, you can tell me to go fuck myself. But in the meantime, you kids be good to each other. Be half-decent human beings. And you can find me, your old pal Jony, here scooping whipped cream off his nuts for your fucking entertainment.